Now we're starting with the news that's on all of the front pages today. David Carrick, an armed Metropolitan Police officer, has pled guilty to 49 sexual offences, 24 of which are counts of rape between 2000 and 2021. Carrick met many of his victims through dating websites and used his role as a police officer to intimidate women and prevent them from reporting him. The Met Police have apologised for their lack of investigation after it emerged that he had come to the attention of the police on 9 separate occasions. It's a shocking story today, Kelly. How do you feel reading it, knowing that there was a lot of history with this man? How do you feel when you are out and about on the streets now? Are you much more conscious and aware of what's around you? Because I think this has affected a lot of people.
Definitely. I think, firstly, it's for me, what's criminal is that lots of those women were not believed in the first place. Because, you know, telling your story, regardless of who the perpetrator is, you should be heard and believed, and your statement, your allegations should be investigated. For me personally, even this morning, I go out running on a regular basis, but this morning I did think twice before I went. I was like, oh, you know, should I, because it's an unfamiliar area for me. I was like, should I put my earbuds in? You know, would that be, would I be distracted then because I can't hear what's going on around me? I did think twice. Is it going to change me in terms of being fearful? No. Only because I don't want anybody, regardless of who they are, David or anyone else, to then change my lifestyle. I think as women, we've got to empower ourselves to be as sensible as we can. Obviously, make good decisions, but it's not going to change my life. I'm going to continue to do what I've always done, because I don't think being a victim in that way, victimising myself and, rethinking stuff and then going, oh, I'm not going to go anywhere, I'm not going to do this, that's just not my personality.
But would it make you wary now of, because when you are feeling vulnerable, if you're out or whatever, and I know with me then, if I saw a policeman, I think, oh, he's there, I can go over and tell him. Would it make you nervous now of the police?
It's really funny. I was actually, when I was travelling down, a policeman came. I was shopping in a supermarket, and a policeman came in to me, and I had my rucksack on, and I was like, I looked at him and I was like, yes, but that comes from my history with the police, where I've always been accused of this when I haven't actually been doing anything wrong at all. So I was literally like, yes. And he was like, oh, no, I just wanted to let you know your bag was open, so just be careful. Yeah. So I'm always a bit more wary of police anyway. But no, I don't think this case is going to change my behaviour.
But there is that you talk about, and that was a nice thing, and there are many hard-working police officers out there who just feel like it's tainting their reputation as well. And we know they're good people, and it's like every organisation.
I think the vast majority of them are good people and do the job for all the right reasons. And then there is ones like him, and supposedly quite a few others now that are being investigated, who, they abused the authority, and that's how he got away with it. He abused authority and was proved right for 20 years, saying to these women, no one will believe you, I'm not scared because I'm so high up in the police force, and proved him right. And I think, the Met Office and all that, they always come out and say changes are going to be made and we're going to look into it. I mean, how many times are we going to hear this and changes aren't made? And if this isn't a sign that major changes have to happen, then there's no hope, really.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in total agreement, obviously, with what both everybody's saying, and obviously, as Colleen is saying, actions speak louder than words. I'm really disgusted that there are over 1,000 that are still to be investigated, or it says that they resulted in no action or no criminal allegation. That's really quite the scary part, that this is going on and we only kind of hear about it now when it's kind of too late, if you know what I mean. Something should be done before. And you could also, with this case, what I read is that people in his work colleagues, they nicknamed him certain things that I'm not going to repeat on here, but one of them was saying that, basically meaning that he was mean and cruel. And if you're nicknaming and egging on, you're in this work environment sometimes, and it's like, oh, go on, and those sort of things should be held accountable, as culpable as, if he's done something and you know he's done something, but you haven't necessarily had the conversation, it can spur somebody on to think that what they're doing is all right or OK to do if it's not stopped at that level. So I think everybody should be held accountable, whether you're jeering somebody on in a playground, go on, do it. That's still somebody to...
If you're aware of...
Yeah. Absolutely, and it should come from the top. And, you know, I'm always saying it's at the top, you need to sort that out.
Yeah. But I think that's the thing, isn't it? If you've got a culture within an organisation that has got issues and it's not being addressed, then that's allowed to fester and grow, and that person is allowed to feel safe within that organisation, and that's where it needs to be changed.
Yeah, exactly. And, of course, the vetting process, I think... It's the vetting process, isn't it? I mean, I think, if I'm a law-abiding wannabe police officer, I'm very happy for any organisation to check my background out. I'm an open book. I'm happy to do any test that's required. Yeah. And that vetting process has to be tougher, obviously, because certain people are capable of slipping through the net. The Commissioner, Sir Mark Rowley, has said that this man abused women in the most disgusting manner. It's sickening. We've let women and girls down, and indeed we've let Londoners down. The women who suffered and survived this violence have been unimaginably brave and courageous in coming forward, and I do understand also that this will lead to some women across London questioning whether they can trust the Met to keep them safe. We have failed. I'm sorry. He should not have been a police officer, which is obviously true. We know that. Let's never have to talk about a story like this again.